To the globe, world experts on land reform have warned against South Africa's proposed expropriation of land without compensation. They say that the policy could lead to the country's self-destruction. The conference on security of property rights, hosted by the Free Market Foundation, has heard that South Africa would go the Zimbabwe route should it go ahead to implement the expropriation of land without compensation. The two-day conference has drawn experts from Venezuela, India and African states.
South Africa's policy on land reform has come under scrutiny. This as parliamentarians prepare for a hotly contested debate next week on whether the constitution should be amended to allow for expropriation without compensation. The Free Market Foundation believes the policy would not benefit the majority of South Africans.
The problem with apartheid, what victimized black South Africans, is that their property was confiscated without compensation. And it's quite bizarre and perverse that people are thinking of reinstituting the ability to confiscate black people's property without compensation. Remember that there's no racial provision in the Constitution. So this will place black South Africans right back where they were under apartheid.
Experts from Zimbabwe warned that land expropriation without compensation is bound to fail if driven by political expediency. He urged South Africans to take lessons from his homeland.
When you expropriate without compensation, that is the basis of the Mugabe, paradigm, the Mugabe model. In other words, how is it that in Zimbabwe property was expropriated, there were land invasions, company shares were taken, and how is it that, for instance, the EFF is talking about the same thing, nationalize the mines, nationalize insurance companies, nationalize the medical industry. So to me, it's as if mentally, the mental predisposition of the South African model is that we don't want to do it like Zimbabwe. But on the ground, it seems to me that you are moving exactly towards the same direction.
A Ghanaian expert cautioned the country to prepare for catastrophic disinvestment if the land policy is legitimized. He says Ghana has already benefited from the companies who left South Africa during the turbulent years of former President Jacob Zuma's tenure.
The uncertainty around doing business in South Africa. So if you thought that property rights are a very important ingredient in determining the readiness of a country to enable business and enterprise growth, if we toyed with this particular idea and ensure that people who are economically viable lose their livelihoods and lose their property, it will scare investors away.
The conference is expected to discuss proposals that can avoid disastrous consequences of land expropriation on Wednesday. Montlenyane Dipoko, SABC News, Johannesburg.